How's it going? I put up another wee fly here, another salmon fly up done on Facebook, and I was asked to do it again, tie it again for a guy so we could have a look at it and see how it was done. So it's just basically tied up in the same shape and way as a cascade would be: bucktail, floss body, black fox wing, and a hackle. It's not that complicated, but I was asked to do it. So the things you're going to need is some silver oval for a tag. You're going to need some grey bucktail for the tail. A bit of flash is optional, but I'm going to use a bit of flat pearl flash, put a few strands in the tail, and then the body is going to have a tag of Glow Bright number 12, and then the rib is going to be black wire. The body itself is going to be made up of the white UTC floss. As we tie it and go up and down, it'll make the body, or you could use white floss, you can use silver, doesn't really matter in this. And then the wing is going to be black foxtail. And then the hackle is going to be a grizzle cock saddle, a very soft one. I'm going to use the feathers to the base, so a hen hackle would be more ideal. So let's catch this on now with the thread. Just keep it tight, put on a few turns, come over the thread. Now the first thing you want to put on and tie it on top. I tie all my materials on and off on the top and the bottom of the shank of the hook. Just I can mix everything sit better. So we'll catch this in on top. And you want to bring this down. Now I'm going to turn it sideways so I can see out of the light. When the light's shining in my face, it's very hard for me to see head on. Down to where the points, the thread hangs at the points. And then you want to travel rearward as many turns as you want. You put on a wee tag. And when you come on as much as you want to go under. In between the legs and under, so it's tied on top, and the bottom is very secure. Catch that in, and again I'm going to turn to the side just so I can see. Come in, push your thread out of the way with the back of your finger so you don't cut it. Nip away your waist. Tidy up. Now we're going to come back down to we're tight against the oval. Now the next thing is grey bucktail. Where did I put it now? There we go. So what you want to do is get a wee piece of this, a few strands. This one's pretty bad, so I'm going to take off a fair bit of it, not discard most of it by the time I get down to the few strands that I need. So first you want to take away the stuff near the skin at the bottom. You look here at the tip, there's a lot of long ones. Grab the most sort of longest straight ones and pull them out. And that's the stuff I'm going to use. There's about as much as I need now. I need to put it inside of a hair stacker if I can see it. If not, I'm going to just keep sorting it with my fingers here. I'm going to just take, no, I can't see it. So what you do then is, this is a good way, so I'm not prepared so you can't see it. The longest ones, you just take them out and bring them back into the center. Have a look again. I have to take it out of the light there. Take it away and sort them back out. And after a few times of doing this here, and you get it all straightened up, you should have, you're going to have a few shorter, but it doesn't matter. You don't want them dead straight. Now the body here, I want it to be, or the tail, I want it to be twice as long as the body. So I'll use the body as a marker. This first pinching loop is very loose, and I'm going to travel up the way with 2 or 3 more loose turns just to see how it's sitting for length before I worry about anything. If I was to clamp down and really tighten, this would flare out all the bucktail. Now I'm happy enough with the length of that, so I'm going to come up a few turns, return this stuff all to the top. So tidy it up to just shy of where you started your thread and leave a good bit clear at the front. We don't want to tie everything tight back against the eye of the hook. So at this point now I'm happy enough with the length. That looks about good. Now you can add your flash in or not add your flash in. All I'm going to add in is 2 little bits of straight pearl flash, not the crinkle flash stuff that I usually use, but you could do that as well if you wanted. There's no real. Get some bits here that aren't all damaged. There's an old pack of stuff I've got, so we'll cut ourselves off a little piece of that. I'm only going to do one on this side, a little bit longer than the tail. Catch it in, 2 or 3 turns, bend and fold all the one over to the other side, and then keep the 2 of them sort of on the side of the tail, slightly on the top if anything, and then come back tight against your oval tinsel. Now these last couple of turns you want to make them not tight, or again you'll flare out the tail and give yourself some issues. Now we want to cut the pearl off about the same length as the tail. And that's the pearl on the tail done. Now you want to travel all the way back up. Keep a nice smooth turns here. Try and make touch and turns best you can, because unless you want to tie on white floss at the very end, but I'm going to make just the body be this white UTC tying thread, so I want to make some nice even turns, because by the time I come up and down tying on all my stuff, I'll have a good strong base of a white thread and it'll make a good body. So the next one that you're going to tie on now is a glow bright number 12, or any kind of green, hot green coloured floss. Unido's one, hot green I think it's called. It's it, or catches out the top. I want this to be on the bottom so it's nice and smooth, so we'll touch and turns again. This is building up the body, and I'm going to stop just before I get to the end, and I'm going to wind this down and back up. So instead of just doing one layer, it's going to have two. And just take your time and get your wee green butt on. Catch that off the bottom again. Again, we're going to take this all the way up. But first, to make my knife a little bit handier, I'm going to cut it off to length. And then I'll moisten the tip of my thumb and just sort of stick it to the bottom. Come all the way back up. Now it's time for the rub. The rub, black wire. You could use silver again, it doesn't really matter. I just think I like the contrast of black and white. So we'll use the black wire. I'm going to catch that on it at the bottom. As always, I catch things on and off on the top and bottom on double hooks, not on the side like I do with a single hook. Take that right back, tight against that floss, that green butt floss. Now again, concentrate, get nice touch and turns all the way back up, and this will be our final body. It's time to rub it. Take one complete turn at the joint where the white and the green join, and then come up as many turns as you like. Catch it in underneath. Keep your thread tight. Come down 2 or 3 turns. I'm going to bend where that way. I'm just supporting the hook because it's kind of thick wire. I don't want worrying all over this. Now at this point here, because I want a black head on my fly, I'm going to change over. You could just use a black marker, and which what I was going to do, but I couldn't find a black marker anywhere in the house before I started. So at this point we'll change over our threads. Just keep the 2 of them tight. Come back tight against that last wrap of the rub. Remove the 2 of them away. The next material you're going to need is foxtail. So we're hardly seeing that sort of light there, but it has really long, super long fibres here at the end and a very dense under fibre. I want some of the under fibre and some of the long guard here, so I select out enough. And I would say in foxhair, most foxhair, you're going to lose 30% of the overall volume from this stage to the wing that you're going to eventually use. So always go over. So you want to cut that off, the skin. Get my scissors here. And cut it off. Now this bit actually is not too bad with long hairs, you can't really see that there, but there's a few, it'll tipper out. You don't want it an absolute, you want that little teardrop shape where it tippers out, is what's thinner at the end. But what you definitely, that one's okay, I removed a few longer fibres, but right where you're going to tie it on that, you want to pinch it right down close there and remove any of the unnecessarily heavy bits under for it, because that's going to make your tying spot really thick and heavy. So now the length of the wing, I want to come halfway under the tail. There's still a few wee long fibres I don't like. But halfway under the tail. And I'm going to use my hand as a marker by keeping it up to the eye of the hook. And sliding it back to it's halfway under the tail, and I bring my fingers up tight, pinch and loop. 2, 3 turns just to see what it's sitting like, how much wing is it sitting on top. It's a wee bit turned on my side, so scooch it over now before we tighten down anymore. It's very hard to see there, but it's got a nice tipper there. It's about halfway under the tail. So It's got a nice shape. That looks good to me. Now this is the hardest part. If you try to cut this all off at one go, even if you've got really sharp scissors, you're going to end up with a really large head and you're going to distort the wing. So the best thing to do is just to nip little bits at a time. And take those away. Just a few at a time. Come right tight against the tying thread. This will take a few extra seconds instead of just whacking it all off in one go, but you'll get a much neater finish at the end. Now I can't find it again. Now it's on my desk. This fly is for my own box, so I'm pretty confident in my own tying ability that that won't come out, but I wouldn't be happy to send it with somebody else. You would put a wee bit of super glue in here now and let that soak in and tie over the top of it, but as I say, this is going to be for my own fishing box. I don't have to worry too much about it. That bucktail is not the best, and that one hair is annoying me, so take it away. Anything that's curly or is not to your eye, even though the water will fix it, you still have to pick it out of the box before you fish it. If you're not happy with, you're not happy with. So I'll tidy up now. At this point we should have had some super glue in there, but I've got enough tie in there that I'm pretty confident that won't come out. Now the next one is a grizzle, and this time I normally on flies guys prefer to use a soft hackle, and I got a nicely marked little tiny domestic cheap as chips grizzle, and they're super soft, really nice. So you get one size out that you like. I put one out already, so I'm only going to use the super soft stuff at the very bottom. So if you see there's a curve that hook, I always do that curve facing me when I'm tying in. I always tie my head hackles on at the tip, not the base. So the good side facing me, I remove the stuff I don't need at the tip, just leave a little triangle to tie on. And just get it well caught on. Any fibres might be annoying you, squash them down. Now I'm going to take the stem to the 6 o'clock position, and then I'm going to stroke back all the fibres. Or sorry, the 12 o'clock position, and I'm going to stroke back all the fibres and take it to the 6 o'clock position and then release the fibres. This will hopefully take most of the fibres that I'm going to turn this hackle on to back out of the way beforehand and stop in them sort of pointing forward. It doesn't always work, but and then you let go. So 12 o'clock to 6 o'clock, release the fibres. Anything that's pointing forward, tuck it back. 6 o'clock to 12 o'clock, release the fibres. 12 o'clock to 6 o'clock, release the fibres. I want this hackle to be about as long as the body when it's finally on, and a good few turns on a nice bell shape. I don't want a very thin hackle that's going to collapse completely on the flow of the water. So that looks about right to me. We'll catch it on underneath. 3 turns, bend it back. 3 turns. Really secure it on. I try to nip that off and I broke halfway down. So never try a second time. If it doesn't happen the first time, sure as hell it's going to pull out. So that's the wee fly done there. Just need now a whip finish. And sort of a ghost of a fly for clear water conditions. I called it on Facebook like a ghost cascade, but I'm sure people have done it before, and it's very close to a pattern in Canada. They use the tiger ghost or the ghost tiger or something. It's got like a black and white body and a different sort of arrangement and dressing, but similar idea. I'm guessing what they're using it for is very clear water where you don't want too much colour, too much flash, where the fish may be a bit spookish, and they just want something a bit more subtle than their normal big bright salmon fly. So hope you enjoyed sitting there and watching that. There was a bit of a long tie, and I'm not the best at explaining these things, but I was asked quite a few times would I tie this one from Facebook on my YouTube, so I thought I'd give it a go, and I hope you all got something out of it. And until next time, tight lines. Even though the fishing season's over here, I know about the rest of the world, and hope you enjoyed it and give it a go. Especially you got Atlantic salmon or sea trout at night. I could see it working very well there too, here in England, Ireland, Scotland and Wales, for sea trout at night tied in a smaller size maybe. So thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.